Hey guys, it's Friday. Just a reminder, make sure you're updating your maps as you go. Don't forget to use your compass rose. Make sure you're updating your key, your map key, so we know exactly what your symbols mean if you're writing in symbols. Make sure you do all those things along the way. I can't wait to see those maps. If you have them done, well, I guess you're not going to have them done because we're not on the island yet. But if you want to send me pictures of what you've already done, send them to me, text them, email them, however. Yesterday, Roz was stuck on the train. They just got to the train station. The doors slid open and the robots filed out. And now we're getting ready to figure out what is going to happen. Chapter 70, the march through the city. Oh, look, she made it to the city. So she's back in the city. Look at all those buildings. Doesn't look like the mountains and trees, huh? Not from the island or what she's used to. Chapter 70, the march through the city. The main hall of City Center Station was enormous. Wide columns stretched up to an arched ceiling. A huge electronic screen flickered with train schedules. The whole place was bustling with humans and robots, and everyone seemed to know exactly where they were going. Everyone except Roz. There was our robot standing still in the station while commuters hurried past. She was trying to calculate her next move, and she had to think quickly. You see, a normal robot would never just loiter there for long. Roz needed to do something, anything, and when the crew of Roz robots marched past in a single file, she could think of no better plan than to join the end of the line and pretend to be one of them. She followed... Sorry, guys. She followed the crew through a set of doors, and suddenly they were outside. The city was a blur of activity. Automobiles hummed down the streets. Robots marched along the sidewalks. Humans talked and laughed and shouted. Buildings towered overhead above them, and airships buzzed across the sky. Airships. For a moment, Roz was dreaming again about how easily she could get home with an airship, but reality came crashing back down when a white triangular ship darted over. It was gone in an instant, disappearing behind the rooftops. But that was all it took for the robot's survival instincts to flare. Were the Ricos searching for Roz or going about some other business? Roz tried to focus on her immediate surroundings. She was still marching behind a crew of robots. With each step, she grew more and more nervous that they'd noticed her tagging along. She wanted to break away. And as they started weaving and shuffling through crowded tourists, Roz slowed and stopped, and the robot crew continued on without her. Now, Roz was on her own, but she didn't know what to do or where to go. When in doubt, Brightbill always had guided her north. So our robot set off through the city in that direction. While marching northward, Roz passed beautiful boulevards and architecture and gardens and art, and yet she had to ignore all of it. She had to act like a normal robot, and a normal robot would never wander the city admiring beautiful things. Wherever Roz looked, she saw normal robots concentrating on their tasks and on nothing else. They ran errands, delivered food, swept sidewalks, cleaned windows, fixed machines, built glorious structures, and did more jobs than you could possibly imagine. Most walked on two legs, but some rolled on wheels or slid up and down the slides of buildings on tracks. The city was a glittering modern metropolis where humans lived in luxury, all thanks to their tireless work of robots. Roz was marching when the sunlight faded into the city lights and the city lights brightened. She was marching when the humans went in for the night and the robots continued to work. She was marching when the sun came up and the humans filtered out of the buildings. A new day began in the city, and there was Roz, marching north, blending in, anxiously hoping her son would appear. Okay, guys, for this week, I really want you to work on updating your maps, putting a lot of detail and a lot of time into them. Don't get this done quick. It's okay. We're going to continue to build this map. And it's okay if we need to add more paper too. So if you you already have the bay on there, the city on there, the town on there, the train station on there, and maybe you draw a picture of her in the train, and now she's in the city marching. So it's okay if you need to add more paper or flip to the back. That's super all right. For Friday, we're going to do vocab today. So I want you guys to tell me, I got to find my words again. What does it mean? These are more like descriptive words that I kind of found. So our first one is going to be blur. The city was a blur of activity. What does it mean when something is a blur? The next one I want you guys to tell me was metropolis. The city was glittering modern metropolis. You can use Google to find out what these mean, or a dictionary, or interview somebody, but metropolis. I want you to tell me what metropolis is. And then the last one I want you guys to tell me is, oops, sorry, I have to find it. There's our cat. This is Wasatch. And then what it means to shuffle. It says, as they started weaving and shuffling. So tell me if you guys can decide what those kind of, maybe they're more like descriptive words that help you kind of picture what's going on. And then see if you can use them in another sentence. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.